Welcome to Podro Pascal, the Pedro Pascal podcast. I am your host, Rachel Leishman.
And I'm Catrina Dennis.
And this week, we have, as you can see, a surprise guest, a good friend, Hannah Blechman.
It's me.
Hi, Hannah. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So Hannah is the person who I know who has known Pedro Pascal longer than I think anyone else on this planet, other than his family. Fan-wise, has known him longer than anyone else possibly does, unless they were also in this production.
Yeah, when I heard that Rachel was doing this podcast, I was like, how dare you? He's my guy. You didn't even consult me. Very hurt, very sad. So glad to be here now.
You made it.
I do want you to come back and talk Shakespeare at some point. Because we'll talk about how you know who he is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it turns out in the year 2007, I saw him in a play in Washington, D.C. I saw him in Hamlet at the Shakespeare Theater Company, which I used to frequent all the time. And I thought that this production was in like 2011 or something. But no, I looked it up today. It is, I was 17 years old, went to see this production, which I remember thinking was okay, but that guy who played Horatio was amazing. So much so that during the curtain call, I stood up for him and I sat back down for the guy who was playing Hamlet, who I didn't think was very good. I have visual aids. I went onto the Shakespeare Theater Company's website to try and find like production pictures. They don't have any. Good. They do have scans of the program and they're in Theater Magazine. So you can take a little peek-see.
Man playing Hamlet who looks just so upset about life.
Yeah, he was a soap opera star, I think, who got to play Hamlet in DC. And I didn't think he was good. Oh I hate to say it. It was so long ago, I don't think it matters. But anyway, I saw Pedro Pascal in this production, opened my program, and was like, who dat? And then I just kept his name in my brain for, it turns out, like 15 some years.
Ashley is screenshotting them because I realized they're sideways. And so I'm on camera like this, scrolling through the PDF.
Yeah, another reason that like they couldn't even rotate the pages when they scanned it. It's kind of amazing. There's one production photo that I found through them. Scourged Google, couldn't find any others. But I wanted to share these. And someday we'll talk about Shakespeare. He's very good at it. So yeah, discovered him there. And then, I don't know, fast forward whatever, how many years when he was announced on Game of Thrones. And I was like, oh, my guy, how exciting. And I didn't watch Game of Thrones because I don't like it.
I was like, good for you.
I was like, hooray, it's happening. Finally, your talent is being lifted into the big leagues. You know, so happy for him, proud of him, love him, have met him a couple times. He's the nicest guy. So just like couldn't be happier. There's a lot of people I saw in DC theater who I was like, they're going to go somewhere. And they didn't.
You were correct.
But I was right about him.
Ashley posted the playbill that Hannah was talking about. If you see baby.
Yeah, pre-mustache. Very pre-mustache.
Right in the middle, but off to the right-hand side there. I'm trying to see who all these people are. Jeffrey Carlson, your headshot is wild. Happy for you. You are so Hamlet. Do you think they made him dye his hair that blonde because he's Hamlet? Or do you think
he came that way? I like that as a choice for Hamlet. But I do think he is just like a bleach blonde dude.
Good. Sorry, Jeffrey Carlson, that Hannah didn't like your Hamlet in the year of 2007.
You know, it's funny. I want to, I don't know, say one nice thing about him. So Shakespeare Theater Company does essentially summer free Shakespeare in the Park, where they remount their previous productions. So I saw Jeffrey Carlson do Hamlet twice. And the second time in the park, he was better. He was good the second time. So
Jeffrey, if you're listening, I'm really happy for that second go you had at Hamlet.
Everybody's got an off night, right? Like, not everybody
Yeah.
100% every
It was
day.
also a night when I saw it the first time, the fire alarm went off in the theater and we all had to go outside for about 10 minutes through maybe halfway through the first scene. So if he was off, I'll cut him some slack.
For sure. I like this.
Hannah's credit, she is also like, that's her favorite Shakespeare. So she is very particular on her Hamlet.
Understandable.
It's true. I'm a snobby bitch.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying you're particular.
No, I said it. That's okay.
I like this random edit in the PDF version where like he's got like a little edited in mustache right next to his whole thing. Like you can see his early days, like highlights, like his Buffy the Vampire Slayer role.
Eddie. Wait, Catrina, will you please read out this bio?
Pedro Pascal as Horatio, the Shakespeare Theater Company. Lorenzaccio Ghosts in New York. He was off Broadway at the Second Stage Theater. Terrence McNally's Some Men, directed by Trip Coleman. He was part of the drama department at Douglas Carter Bean's The Cartels. At the Public Theater and New York Shakespeare Festival. He was in Macbeth, directed by Moises Kaufman. For the Manhattan Theater Club, he was in Based on a Totally True Story. He was also in Nilo Cruz's Beauty of the Father, directed by Michael Grace. Regionally, you could have seen Pedro in the Wellesley
Lobby Hero.
Huh?
He was in Lobby Hero?
Yeah. He's a professional actor. Everyone's done Lobby Hero.
Fast forwarding
to Law and Order of Theater.
His television hits include Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Touched by an Angel, Law and Order CI, MTV's Undressed, Good versus Evil, and NYPD Blue.
NYPD Blue, my mother's favorite. That's how I knew who Jimmy Smits was prior to Star Wars. I was like, that's that guy from NYPD Blue. But yeah, what a journey. I now remember when I said I wanted to see him as Macbeth, someone replied to me, he's done it before, and I think they were referring to that, to which I say, you think I saw that production at 14? I lived in California. I was not here to
secondly, do you really want to see like a 25-year-old be Macbeth? Does that feel right?
Or like I think he was just in it, and I was like, yeah, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I want him to be Macbeth. There is a difference. I'll take him as Lady M. I don't care. I watched Alan Cumming do Lady M. It was great. Anywho's, now that we've checked in on Shakespeare and how Hannah found Pedro, how are you, Catrina? How have you been?
Oh, life has just been a roller coaster. Barring anything having to do with actual life, I'm doing pretty great. I mean, very good. Life is it's a box of chocolates.
Whereas Flats once said,
yeah.
No, that's Anastasia.
Wow. We're on a roll today. No, but I'm getting ready for Star Wars Celebration, so I'm excited about that. Can't wait to hang out with our producer and with Rachel and with everybody who hopefully shows up. I don't know if it's just us, that's cool too. But in all of Celebration, if nobody else shows up, I'd be perfectly fine.
It's just us three in Anaheim Convention Center, and then we're the only three at Star Wars night.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh, amazing. But yeah, otherwise, life is going and I'm going with it. And so, yeah. How are you?
Fine. Listen, I'm also going to Star Wars Celebration, so I'm worried about that. I have to go back to my hometown, and I've tried to describe to my friend who is flying, like my childhood best friend, is coming for like my dad's celebration of life party, and I've tried to describe to her how bad my hometown is as a place. And every time I've done it, she doesn't seem to understand. Like she'll go, "Oh, should I like wear something nice?" And I was like, "No, it's Newcastle." And she goes, "You're not explaining." And I was like, "I'm trying to tell you this city is just not worth your energy, don't worry about it. I was like, our excitement is a restaurant that opens one night a week on Sundays that's called Ladies of the Dukes, and they make sauce. And I'll say something on here that is sacrilegious in my hometown because I don't think anyone from there listens to this. And if you do, I didn't say this. Their sauce is okay. It's not that great, but everyone's like, it's the best because it's all these old Italian ladies who make it, but it's very acidic. I don't really like it that much. And yet it is every Sunday packed. And so we're getting food from there on Sunday. And I was like, prepare yourself, I guess. It's fine. I was like, I live in New York. Like, I was like, everyone there clearly lives in this small town in Western Pennsylvania. I was like, it's like nothing there is spectacular. Except their chili dogs. They have great chili dogs. But yeah. So again, I'm fine. What is better than me is the movie The Great Wall. See how I did that segue? It is a movie that I enjoy for very specific reasons that I don't know. Like, I don't know that most people would like it for why I did, which is those creatures that looked half CGI'd, like they hadn't finished them.
Babe, you're crazy. They look good. They look fine. I have
Like,
no idea what you're talking about. You've been going on and on for days about how bad these things look. That's not a good example. That's not fair.
They look, you know what, I grabbed that screenshot because they look a little like little ugly cousins of the Nexu from Star Wars, the steed lizard that Obi-Wan rides in Attack of the Clone. Yeah. It's like
that is CGI'd better than that entire sequence.
This was the most expensive movie ever made in China.
They're dangerous cousins from the bog. Exactly.
I think they look pretty good.
Yeah. I like them.
I just realized I skipped the entire news section.
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of stuff happened this week.
Because I was like, oh, nothing happened. Meanwhile, you know, Vanity Fair dropped a cover yesterday.
Our best friends, Vanity Fair.
Yeah. Friend of the podcast, Vanity Fair. Hannah, we're doubling down on the fact that, like, my friend Adam is a director for Vanity Fair, and during the lie detector test, asked Pedro Pascal, have you listened to Podro
Yes,
Pascal?
I've seen that clip. Mm-hmm. Proud of you, happy for you, congrats.
So now we're all saying that we have it labeled on things as seen on Vanity Fair, and we're just gonna keep running with it until someone's like, hey, you can't do that.
Thanks for explaining the bit. Appreciate it.
Isn't that the best part of comedy, when you explain the bit?
Yes. Yeah, that's how people know it's a joke, because you explain it.
You have to explain it.
And if you don't have to explain it, it's not a good joke. If people just get it, it's not good.
Explain jokes for decades to women.
Yeah, and to explain, we're kidding.
Yeah.
I feel like we've earned this time, you know, like after getting explained to for so many years, like this is a radical act of feminism, explaining our own jokes.
Explaining the bits. I think it'd be funny though if, like, the way the cadence that Hannah and I just used sounded like purred happily to me. So it'd be great if it was just like at the end you went, and that was a joke. Like, that's how you end it.
Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've never tweeted a joke in my life. And honestly, I barely even tell them. I'm very serious. I'm a serious person.
And that is sarcasm. But yes, sorry to disappoint on thinking we were getting into the crooks of the Great Wall. I segued. I was so proud, but I missed the news.
Nice.
Crook? Yeah, I messed that up. It's fine.
No, I thought it was a wall joke.
You know what? It was. Thank you, Hannah. It was a wall joke.
I was giving you credit.
It was not me speaking. Earlier today, I wrote "guard your loins" instead of "gird," and my editor had to be like, "Rachel, it's gird, not guard." And I was like, "You gotta guard them anyway."
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. But big news, I think, that Hannah will enjoy as well, is that Pedro Pascal is doing a Western movie with none other than Ethan Hawke.
Woo!
This is good news for the world at large.
Yeah. It is what we all deserve.
Mhm.
I love this Ethan Hawke sort of renaissance. He didn't really go anywhere, but he's at the
He's old
forefront
now and
again.
he's hot and we love him. He's a gentle soul.
I'm pretty sure I've said this on the pod, but like those of us who watched Gattaca for extra credit in school all have a special place in our hearts for Ethan Hawke. I am one of those people.
Some of us have spent too much time with Ethan Hawke's Hamlet, which is bad. Just bringing it back.
Bring it back to Hamlet. It all comes back to Hamlet.
One of the great pieces of art in the world. So yeah.
You're correct. There was also a wonderful little podcast that he did called Talk Easy. It was another podcast, not ours, so I don't know how I particularly feel about it. I'm just kidding. He looked really cute. Look how cute. I'm saving that because I think that's Catrina's picture for later. So I'm
no, it's not. It's not. I actually have no idea whose picture that is.
I think this was originally my Sash Week, and I changed my mind. But
the great sweater of the week, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what this whole vibe is. I love that he has a mug. That's my favorite celebrity thing. Let me walk outside with a ceramic mug because I have no fear. None at all. And then that is just two of the things that happened out of the 4 in a week. He has been very vocal about Roe v. Wade. We support a king. Thank you. Because, other celebrities are not. Him and Adam Scott, I chose them well. Because Adam Scott's also like Eat My Shorts Supreme Court at an award show, and I love him for it. But the big news was Vanity Fair did a whole Star Wars spread, which includes hotties. Just hotties.
Yep.
The love of my life, the love of my life, and the love of my life. I'm pointing with my mouse, and I realize no one else can see that. But it was Din Djarin, aka Pedro Pascal, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Diego Luna's Cassian Andor.
I
am a freak who has 3 different Cassian Andor Funkos. He was in one movie, but I knew. Much like Hannah, when she saw Pedro Pascal and Hamlet in 2007, I saw Cassian Andor in one scene and I went, I choose him. I didn't know what was going to happen.
You are like those guys in 1983 who were like, Boba Fett? That guy's cool. And it paid off for you.
Yeah,
so, I mean, Cassian.
I was like,
the world has validated you.
Yeah, and I love them for it. I think Disney was like, we got to get this guy back who just wants to fucking touch Jabba. Because if we don't, people are going to start rioting about him.
Jabba, it needs to happen, man.
He's
it's
hot.
taken so long. If it doesn't happen on this press tour for Andor, and there better be a press tour for Andor, like I will be very upset. Like he needs to be able to go to a Jabba and like touch it.
Just go to one.
Go to one. Call the Henson people. Have them make a Jabba. Let's make one just for him so that he can have it. I think the best thing and my number one prediction for the Andor series is that Jabba will somehow be involved so that Diego can touch it.
It's pre-death.
It's pre-death. Jabba is alive. He's thriving, honestly.
He's walking around Tatooine making threats to guys who drive station wagons.
Yep.
And we can have it all.
Exactly.
I think that should happen. Yeah, that whole thing was very nice. He just talked about how he likes being the Mandalorian because, as he said, maybe he's a commitment phobe because it's his voice. I do love that cover so much because all of the gross people online that I constantly have to see being like, he got fired. He's done. He's no longer the Mandalorian. I'm like, he was.
You're saying that?
Why? Fair.
Why?
I would go as far as
woman who I will not say her name because she's my enemy. But there's this woman who gets online and she's mean to mostly creators of color. And she always just comes up with lies. And like one time, I mean, this is gonna tell people who she is, but I don't care. Kathy Yan fought her and told her she was wrong about things that happened in Birds of Prey. And she kept doubling down, be like, no, that's not true. And Kathy Ann was like, I think I would know what is and is not in my movie. And she was like, no, it's not true. It's what I heard. And Kathy Ann's like, I'm telling you it's not true.
Yeah.
She started a rumor forever ago that Pedro Pascal was a diva. and wanted more FaceTime. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not the case given, the nature of the character. I think he kind of knew. And so
Also, like, I also want more FaceTime. The world wants more FaceTime.
yeah, but we
Yeah,
had
I
those
feel like
little
the show
moments.
has gently taken us there. So
yeah.
if
It
season
worked.
3 isn't mostly no helmet, I'll be sad, you know?
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, I would say that, like, you know how like Arrow led the CW like hero verse. Like, I would say that Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian is leading this new era of Star Wars. Like everything is tied into where he was, and like he's the one at the helm of this. So, I'm just saying he seems to be doing just fine for a diva.
Yeah, and now he's on
And
the cover of Vanity Fair.
if he wants his water sparkling, then by God, I think he's earned it. Okay.
I will say what I love about this whole little segment with the three of them is that in the
Mhm.
video they are all three like talking to each other and being all cutesy. If you like watch the video, I haven't gotten around to watching it because I can't emotionally handle it because Hayden Christensen has a lightsaber in it. So
Mhm.
haven't my heart saw the pictures and said save yourself.
Mhm.
So I haven't done that yet.
We should
But
watch it together at some
yeah,
point.
and die. I
Yeah.
will just combust as a person. It's been too much.
Yes.
But in the video, the three of them are all like smiling and smirking, and I saw so many tweets being like, the three of them could flirt with like a tree, and they just are all together. And then someone else like, it's so sad that like none of them can be in things together because it's like Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is 10 years before we even meet Cassian in Rogue One, so Cassian would be way too young. And like it's like all three of them are at spots where they can't interact. And I was like, yeah, that's sad, but we have this now. And that's the vanity cover, the Vanity Fair cover, friend of the pod. And then yeah, now I don't have a good segue into the Great Wall.
You
Um
know what else is great? Walls.
yeah, the wall.
This one in
Um
particular.
just
It's pretty
one wall
excellent.
in particular. Pink Floyd's no, just kidding. Yes. So this week we are covering the Great Wall. The cast of this movie includes Matt Damon, Willem Dafoe, Pedro Pascal, and Jin Tian. It is set in China on the Great Wall, hence the name, the Great Wall. And Hannah wanted to talk about this because one of the reasons that I did not see it is because at the time a lot of people were criticizing this movie for being a white savior film and having a main character as a white guy, which yes, it does have Matt Damon as one of the main characters, but Jing Tan's her name is Commander Lin May, I think. Yes. Her character for the most part is like the lead. And so it's like I was like, "Oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be based on how everyone had reacted at the time."
It's also a Chinese production about medieval China. So the fact that Matt Damon is in it, I don't think undercuts that there's also like 300 Chinese actors telling a Chinese story. And when it came out, I don't think that was very clear to people that it was actually like a Chinese movie that was being widestream released in America because Matt Damon was in it. I went to see it in a movie theater in 2016. And I emerged like, this is fine, actually, and was told to shut up, which was fair. That's fair. No, I have been thinking about this movie quite a bit since it came out, and I'm happy to be here to chat about it.
Yeah, and it's like I knew of it, obviously. I knew that it was why Willem Dafoe and Pedro Pascal were in pictures together, which is more how my brain functions. And I knew like the controversy around it, and then watching it, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't nearly as like I said, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like I just assumed Matt Damon was going to come in and be like, "Hi, I can save the day," and he's bad at his job in this movie. He's like, "I can shoot these arrows, save a bowl, but I'm bad at every other aspect of my job."
Yeah, he's like kind of a shitty guy who grows, into a slightly less shitty guy.
Mhm. I noticed that like this movie, the way the cast makeup like plays out is something that like we're kind of used to in storytelling. It reminded me a lot of The Legend of the Monkey King, where we have this new, like, inexperienced hero who's kind of pulled into the fray in a way, by like this, somewhat failed, like mess up of a guy, and like her success is in a way his retribution, and her growing results in him growing. And so I think that that's how I kind of viewed it, where everything she did was an echo of what happened to the group in a way, and they were the ragtag crew that was just like following along. So
yeah, much more to me rather than being the hero of the story. Matt Damon and Pedro Pascal feel like they're like introductory characters. They bring you to a new place so that it can be explained, so everyone gets to understand the rules. There's a word for that, and I don't have it. There's like a technical term for that. An audience surrogate, maybe? Not quite. But either way, like, it's helpful to have people who don't know what the hell they're looking at, and to have the other characters be like, here's what's happening here. Let's explain it to you so that we're all on the same page. And it's nice when it's like two bumbling idiots. Like, it's always charming.
Yeah. And I mean, like, listen, I'm not gonna lie. What I knew about this movie was from fanfic. Because I would just be scrolling on whatever, Tumblr, on AO3, whatever, and I would see, like, our producer is yelling at me, and I would see things where it was like, his character plus like a whole family. So I would like this is tags. I didn't read it. So maybe if I read it, there would be more explanation. But I'm saying from the tags that I saw, it was like him and like a whole ass family. So I went into this movie being like, this guy has a whole ass family, and then there was nothing about a family. And so I was just like, oh, people just good for them. They came up with a whole backstory. I was like, I didn't get that from the movie, but I like the dedication to creating a story for his character. For the most part, it was, Matt Damon being like, I can help the entire time. Pedro Pascal being like, what if we didn't? And I kind of liked it.
I mean, he is a classic sidekick. He has nothing happening except for whatever's happening with Matt Damon. They are so inextricable, and his character, the moment he tries to leave Matt Damon, it falls apart. He doesn't want to be there at all. Classic sidekick saying like, I think we should leave. This is a bad idea. I'm going to express all the reasons we shouldn't be doing the heroic action so that when you do the heroic action, it is heroic. Like, pure sidekicking. He's also like just a dumbbell, just like a trusting idiot who trusts everybody immediately. Really charming stuff. He's like a dash of color in the movie, really.
Yeah.
He's a nice flavor to have. That character has so little.
I love his Inigo Montoya accent. Because that's what it is.
See more movies where he isn't forced to do an accent, but that's my hill to die on.
I was watching this great documentary on an actress, The West Side Story. Oh my god, what am I saying?
Natalie Wood or Rita Moreno?
Rita Moreno, a girl who just went for it or something. And she was talking about how like she had a made up manufactured like Spanish accent that wasn't really like Spanish at all. And so when I listen to Pedro put this accent on, because he's put it on a couple times, it always makes me think of like her quote about that, because it sounds like it's his generalized like, oh, here we go, like I'll just use my accent. So he just makes one up instead of using like his natural, which I think is kind of funny. And also like there's this one shticky moment which was, he did his best. He like sold it all the way.
Oh, yes.
The Toro moment, I was like,
He is a Spanish mercenary. And if you want to read that moment as acceptable, it's that he has a background in matadoring. I don't know the history of matadors in Spain, but like,
and that move like leads into like a team move with Matt Damon's character, and that's why you guys made me remember all of this. So yeah, I wanted to note that as well.
I love how much of the two of them fighting is them as a team, throwing each other weapons, like hurling each other over obstacles. Combos. That stuff I love to see. It's character-rich fight choreography.
But where is Matt Damon from? Where is William from in this movie? Because
what a question!
What was this accent?
Whitelandia. From
Yeah, I
the
thought, is it
coast of
Scottish? Is it
somewhere in Europe.
Irish?
Question mark.
I wish he was doing what he landed on in The Last Duel, that sort of like just vague British-esque uppity accent. You know, it's not really anything.
I don't know if you knew that, Hannah. This is where he goes when Adam Driver comes to see Jodie Comer. He is in this movie. They're in tandem. So watch them to figure out what's going on. Or ignore what the movie tells you 3 different times for where he is. He's actually in the Great
China. It's a bad accent. Like, I'm very pro Matt Damon, and I'm here to defend him as an actor and almost as a person. But it's an unacceptable accent.
It's that almost that is that, you know, where he just offers up information about himself that he didn't need to.
It's not good. And then he's like, I'm pro crypto. And I'm like, honey.
Oh, the crypto. Oh, we can't get
Come on. Listen to your friend Ben and just like don't say anything about this stuff.
Is Ben Affleck good? Surely not. But guess what? He doesn't say anything. So we just.
Anyway, the point is Matt Damon accent bad. Some sort of English, Scottish, Irish something. We get a paragraph of backstory with him, which we don't really talk about again. He just dumps it, which hilarious.
And like normally, for Hannah's sake, and I'll just pull it up because it's almost impossible with this movie. We normally do this thing called the rundown, where I just explain kind of what we saw and we go through it and we like talk during it and all that kind of stuff. This movie is almost impossible to do that because you get thrown in within 2 seconds. Like, you know nothing about these characters and they're like, what if they're fighting lizard things? And you're just right on in with them. And like, I didn't hate that. It was like, all right.
It's an action extravaganza. You know, I watched this. I'm currently hanging out with my folks, and my dad watched the last half hour of the movie with me, and he kept asking, why do they have to kill that one? Why do they all stop when that one blows up? And I was like, Dad, they have a mental link. They're a hive mind. Kada. You know, like I got to the end of the movie and I was like, I understand it. I understand everything. The movie is perfect.
Like, I'm just jumping right to the end. Going into town with that thing, dumb. Going into town with that thing and then not having anyone explain to the Emperor there, like, hey man, don't take that off. We're all gonna die.
He's a boy emperor. He gonna do what he wants.
Someone had to have some sense with Matt Damon, and he brought no one with sense. Because Lin May was like, I have other shit to do. Like, I loved her. She was like, me and my crew are gonna dive off of the Great Wall with ropes attached. And when this white guy is being an asshole, we'll be like, maybe yours is attached. You just gotta trust it. Loved them. Favorite part of the movie, even though I couldn't really see 90% of this movie because they were like, we're fighting in fog, and then didn't lessen that fog at all. So you can miss like half of the action because you're like, wait, did something just go? Did he just shoot something? All right. Yeah, it's just so foggy.
There is a very foggy sequence. I grant.
I mean, I love it. I just like the dedication.
He keeps striking all these cool poses and you can barely see it. And it's so sad. Like, you can tell he went through like fight training and stuff for this. And like, it's just drowned out of the movie. He just kind of looks like he's wiggling around back there.
The 2007 production of Hamlet that Hannah saw when he was Horatio. Listen, we're making head cannons here. That's what I came into this movie with. So we should head cannons for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I went to see this movie in 2016 because I wanted to see Pedro Pascal, you know? And he doesn't have enough to do in the movie. He wasn't really a star yet. He wasn't popping like he's popping now. That character, like, you can imagine a version of this movie where that character has like a bigger arc and more of a moment and shows up at the end to be helpful instead of having a nice little button where Matt Damon buys him out of prison. And instead, he's really comes and goes out of the movie as they want Matt Damon to have someone to talk to. It's a shame. I wish there was more of him. He's clearly done the work.
Well, and even to that point, Willem Dafoe is not in this movie that much. Willem Dafoe starts there. We don't know why. They're just
We
like,
know why. You weren't paying attention.
probably not, because
I don't want you to smirk this movie when you weren't paying attention.
Listen, I'm not. I genuinely had fun. This movie shocked me in a way. I wasn't surprised. If I didn't like this movie, Hannah, it would have no stars on Letterboxd. I have a very specific rating. Every movie is good unless it's morally bad. And then it gets no stars. But like the thing is, I wanted like Pedro Pascal to be like, "Hey buddy, remember when we fought our whole way here together and that's why we're best buds?" But instead I mean, I did not trust their relationship. I was into it. I instantly was like, "Yeah, I get it." But like, I wish there was just like half a beat more of explanation.
There is the point when Pedro and Willem Dafoe are gonna steal a bunch of gunpowder and run away. And Pedro's like, I'm not leaving without Matt Damon. I refuse to leave without Matt Damon. Matt Damon is my buddy and he would never let me down. He's gonna be here. Very sweet. Good friendship.
Yeah,
Matt Damon shows up and is like, I'm not leaving. And they knock him out and leave him behind.
Anyway.
And I was like, no, throw him over your shoulder. Like, that feels like the character beat from what I've seen of these two guys is like, you're not leaving without him, so you'll knock him out and drag him out of there. The movie can't do that because Matt Damon has to stick around and be a good person. But it's sort of like where I wanted that relationship to go. Because the two of them have nice chemistry. As you were saying earlier, like Pedro has chemistry with everyone. He's just a likable, charming guy who you want to see kiss other people. And the movie kind of like doesn't have room for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I wish the end of this movie featured everyone going and smooshing someone. I don't care who it was.
I do respect that Matt, and whose character's name is William, and General Lynn don't kiss.
No last name.
Yeah, no last name whatsoever. Maybe his last name is William. Maybe his name is Matt William.
I would like that.
Maybe. But I do appreciate the two, that like William and Lynn don't kiss. They just have like mutual respect for each other. And then she sends him on his way. I always kind of like it when the leads of a movie are just like, handshake, we'll kiss in the sequel, maybe. You know, like there's tension, but we're not going to do it yet. Dig it. And then literally Matt and Pedro ride off into the sunset together. My favorite ending of a movie.
Well, and also his name is Tovar in the movie, but unless fans made it up, the character's name is Pero Tovar. Like, he has a first name, never said. I don't know if fans made that up or what, but I know for a fact that his name online is Pero Tovar. As before stated, when I know this character,
Look,
I know from
sounds
fans.
made up. There's nothing, or sounds like it existed in a script one time or in some tie-in material, and you latch on. I've been there. I mean, look, I made the joke that a sequel to this movie could be literally any wall. The Great Wall doesn't stop them very much, and it is just a location. Like, I'm happy to be there. It's pretty cool. But, like, you could do this on any tall wall, and I would watch it.
Yeah, they really, like, I thought that wall was going to be a bit more of an obstacle, but within the first little fight, the lizard is on the, like, walking way of the wall. So I was like,
and then they just dig under it, which, like, if the monsters are a metaphor for the Mongol hordes coming down from Mongolia, did they ever try to dig under the wall?
I don't know.
I don't know. My only knowledge of that is Mulan.
I mean, like, if they did, good job, movie. You were like, symbolism, but it wasn't clear enough for me to, like, look that up and figure it out.
Yeah, a lot of things about this movie kind of felt like somebody was on Wikipedia and they were like, oh, that piece of lore is kind of neat. Like, let's put that into my movie. That's kind of cool. Where does this go? Ooh. And then 20 pages later, they're like, that's kind of cool too. Let's have some of this little lore over here. and not look any further into it. Whatever, lizards, yeah, man, let's go.
Yeah,
And
I
God
mean,
bless, you know. I would like that
Monkeys
attitude
got
from
it.
American filmmakers writing about America. Bad
God,
history, just picking and choosing. I like the vibes.
Mhm.
sorry, I'm making a face because I huge for us as a podcast that we did this without any planning because you guys know us. We don't really plan. Um one
We like just came up with our meetup today.
one of the writers of this movie, the writer of both Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Andor, because Tony Gilroy is one of the 3 writers
Oh wow!
Interesting.
on the
Look at
great.
how far everyone's come.
Um, so Tony, I like your work. I think it's fun. This movie is like it makes me feel better that like Hannah said, the majority of the crew was of Chinese descent, either when they were filming in China or Chinese American. Like that makes me feel better about this movie because it could very easily have been a white savior story because I believe all 3 writers are white men of the movie, which so maybe Catrina is correct that they were like, I'm on Wikipedia. I got some thoughts. But
It does have a Chinese director.
yes, it does. So you know
And I
what?
think you can tell that. I mean, the way the action is filmed, the like richness of the costumes and staging, I think, is not the
Those,
American aesthetic.
those blue costume choices, truly like a gift to that fog.
It's like
Watching
amazing to watch this movie and be like, okay, the blue women do this, the red guys do this, the yellow guys do this, the purple guys do this. And then you're watching a fight scene and you're like, I get it. Like sometimes it's foggy, sometimes there's too many people in it, but at least like you get some color coding and it helps you visualize sort of where we are. And even when the blue women, who I don't think are efficient, I don't think that's a good move, get eaten by the monsters, when they show that scene again, there's little like blue bits of cloth on the ground and you have that visual reminder, which I think is like just good visual filmmaking.
yeah, well, I think granted it was foggy, so I wasn't completely clear on what was happening. But like in theory, the women who dived into the battle with the lizards, the Tau, or I believe are what they're called, but they look like big green lizards. Um,
Somewhere between lizards and like bulldogs.
yeah. The Tau
With big
sorry.
teeth.
They have 2 names. But when they're like it looked like or maybe it was just Lin May and she was really good at it. It looked like they would like bounce.
I think that's the idea is they jump down, they do some stabbing, and then they get pulled out of danger. Doesn't
Oh,
always work
she
out.
straight up looked like she was bouncing and doing it. So it
I
wasn't
think
like
she just fucking rocks. Sorry, can I curse?
yeah. I mean, yes.
Sorry, it's too
I've
late.
been, I've
But
been firing up the store.
I think she's the best at it. But
Yeah.
like the other women seem to jump, they go down, they go up. It seems like they have one lance per jump. It just doesn't seem efficient to me.
No,
Not to
it
knock
was
them, they're great.
yeah. I mean, they were the most efficient. Like so sorry to Matt Damon. I don't know what your arrow is going to do. Um, what are you? Yeah, you're Hawkeye fighting against those big ass aliens.
He is a
With
good archer. And he learns that if you shoot them in the eyeballs, they die immediately,
yeah, I mean,
which
hey,
is a
safe bet
huge it's
for
huge.
anything. Shoot them in the eyeball. If I've learned anything from cinema, aim for the eye.
This
Um,
is something that we have learned from the Odyssey, a classic piece of lesson to learn. When fighting enemies, take out their eyes.
and then you nailed it.
Nailed it.
Maybe that didn't work for Oedipus Rex, but
He was his own enemy,
yeah,
truly, you know?
Mhm.
killing it. I enjoyed this movie. I think having no expectations because of how everyone kind of shit on it helped a little. I didn't hate it as much as I was like, I thought I would. I had a fun time. I liked everyone's vibes. I liked that Lin May was like, "All right, well, listen to this dude." She didn't really ever really trust him, and I like that for her. She was just like, "Maybe." Um, and I like that William is bad. He's bad at his job. He's bad at what he does, but he can shoot some arrows and catch a bowl.
And he's willing to help. That's half the battle, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'll show up. I'm hopping on your balloon. I'm coming to the city, and I'm gonna set you up for success, honey. Like, I'm pro Matt Damon.
He's doing his best.
He's really doing his best. Catrina,
He was just giving Pedro a blueprint on how to become an accidental father, uncle, mentor figure.
yeah.
It is really devastating when that one like teenage boy soldier who they've been nice to blows up.
Yeah, a lot of chunks in this movie.
Yeah.
Chunks.
I mean, I get it. Sometimes things are chunky.
Yeah, definitely. People,
Sometimes
lizards, real chunky, all those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I do like that. Like the way you kill them is just to kill one, and it's a hive. Much like the Avengers. Let's keep on going back to that because it's a man with some arrows fighting things that probably aren't going to be that affected by arrows. Those are my thoughts. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like Lin May a lot. I think that character is fascinating because I love them just like diving in to fight some people in bright ass blue. I think it's very cool.
She's super cool. She has like a really fun like anime hairstyle with like the loose bangs.
Oh yeah, the bangs in front of her face.
She looks great. She's super cool. She's so competent. She's so smart. She's also like emotionally sensitive. Her like mentor father dies and she's sad, and it's nice to see that. I love a character with variety, you know. She's not just tough.
No, and she was sad, and then she said, "Okay, there are still lizard people fighting us. I gotta fight the lizards."
I wish we had a little more backstory on like why the lizards want to eat they want to eat everybody because they love to eat people, I guess. But like,
but if you like fed them over the wall,
yeah,
would they stay down there?
what is their culture? You know, like they take their dead back with them. Do they
that was
bury
so
them?
sad. When he was dragging the lizard.
It just got me thinking in a way I don't want to have to think in a movie about fighting a horde. You know, that these monsters maybe have families at home. There's little baby ones that are like, is dad not coming back? You know,
here's the thing.
I don't want to have to think about it, but I did.
My FYP on TikTok has been attacking me recently with like animals that are like missing limbs or like abused for some reason. And I don't know why it's been doing this, but I will just be on TikTok and start sobbing because there'll be like a cat with 3 legs. And I hold my cat and I'm like, "You're okay." And he's like, "Leave me alone. I'm fine. I was in the window and now I'm not anymore." So watching the lizard be like, "Come on, come on." I was like, I'm gonna cry over CGI lizards that look so green. And I don't.
It's clear color coding. The bad things are green. Got it.
Like,
there's no good guys in green.
Wait, green with like a mouth that looks like Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like, ah!
Those mouths are gross.
I'm so happy for the people just listening to this podcast that I was doing the motions to look like Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice.
But we got it. You expressed it very clearly. Well done.
I just needed to put my eyes in my mouth. Like do the Pan's Labyrinth hands.
Like the lizard men in Flash Gordon, whose eyes are in their mouths.
Yeah.
And who are subjugated everywhere they go.
Maybe that's where these lizards are from.
Maybe.
And then they were like, "Guys, we found a spot. There's this huge ass wall. No one's going to bother us." And then all the people were like, what are these lizard things? We got to shoot them. And so they were like, we got to fight, but we bring our dead home. And they all died.
You've really changed my perspective on what's happening in this movie, and I see it now as a tragedy and a genocide.
It's like a rivalry.
Yeah.
They have to figure out how to communicate with each other. But like Lin May and her whole army, no one knows that like they can communicate with the lizards, and the lizards are like, who are these people? We gotta eat them, and they don't know that they can communicate with them. And so in the sequel, they can all get together and have a kumbaya moment and be one, and they can be friends. And
we can only hope for that.
This is my pitch to the Great Wall to Why Can't We Be Friends? And then it starts with Todd Rundgren's Can We Still Be Friends?
Mm-hmm.
That's what kicks the movie off to set the tone.
And it's set in the present, I guess?
No.
No?
We're setting it further back.
Great. Good. Love. Perfect. Amazing.
It's during the prehistoric era. Everyone just time travels. That's my bitch. They time travel. Katrina, do you have anything to add about the Great Wall?
I honestly, gosh, what a movie that was. It sure was a film that played from beginning to end once on a big screen. And it had some actors in it, including Pedro Pascal, and eventually the credits rolled. And those are my thoughts on this movie, because I have nothing nice to say. And
I respect it, but I don't agree.
It's fine. I respect that as well.
I'm not a 5-star movie, you know.
Like Pedro was super cute in the movie. Like
he gets a good haircut.
The scar.
Yeah,
like a hand can represent a scar. It's a solid object. But like the scar was hot. Once they cut his hair and his beard, because we didn't know why they looked that way.
They've been traveling for a long time, Rachel.
Do you think they walked the whole length?
They rode horses.
500 miles and 500 more.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry you weren't paying attention. I have answers to all of your questions about what happens in this movie because I was paying attention. You were vibing. I was listening.
Yeah, I went into this vibes only. I don't regret it, but there was a part where I had to like help my cat. And I just didn't pause. I went, I got this. Just proceeded to do what I was doing. But yeah, I like it's a film. And I don't dislike it. I had fun. It was short. Could have been one of those 2.5-hour jaunts that you're like, why am I here for more fog fighting and no explanation as to why I'm fog fighting? But this movie kept it short, kept it sweet. We had some fun. We had some colors.
Yeah.
And we had a hottie to look at. So it wasn't like a bad time.
He gets a couple good one-liners.
Yeah. I love Lin May so much.
She's great.
She's cool. She dived into a sea of lizards and said, I'm gonna kill you. And I loved her for it.
She's great. I took a shit ton of notes on my phone, and I would like to just read a couple that pertain to Pedro.
Yeah, absolutely.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'll just quote, he's such a little whiner and a weasel, but it's good and I like him. He screams at the monster, which is good. Yes, baby, it's scary. His matador move is so funny. He's so pouty. The haircut is cute.
The matador.
The matador move is cool. I wish he did it more. It's like a fun little character thing. Here's one that says Matt's bragging about Pedro's matador skills in Spain, and Pedro's like, bitch, I just want to leave. I also have many notes about Matt Damon's nose, but those are not applicable here. Quote, my review could be gayer. This is my friend. He's gay and he's stupid and he's mine. I think by the end of the movie, I was like, they're boyfriends, though. Like, clearly their relationship is intimate. I've been watching a lot of MASH, and it's in my soul. Like, you're in a war, you're in love.
Yeah.
it bled into my perspective on the Great Wall.
Yeah, you said MASH, and they do have the same energy of like Hawkeye and everyone.
Yeah, a
Not
little
even
bit.
just Trapper. Quite literally everybody on that show, Hawkeye, is like, I'm gonna flirt with all of you.
Yeah, he needs love to survive.
Yeah.
And I think that's Pedro's vibe in this movie is I thought you were my guy here. What do you mean you're going to ditch me in China? I feel the pain, man. Anyway, he's cute in the movie.
He is very cute in the movie. He is, yeah, it's
Gentleman 6.
a fun time. But guys, he is cute in the movie, and with being cute in the movie. Oh wait, before I segue into the mustaches, just to go back to an hour ago, this is the production shot that he was talking about.
Look at how low quality that is. Very short hair, no mustache, hardly the same man.
Wow,
but
he looks fresh off of Buffy, and that is definitely not fresh off of
Eddie.
Buffy.
Listen, I got to that episode of Buffy when I was watching it, and I was like, great. I don't need to keep going. I saw what I came for. That's a lie. I'm a Giles fan, but fucking love Giles.
You know, some of us watched that one episode of Angel for Jeremy Renner like 1,000 times. And that's normal and fine and good.
And one more for the road. Again, Pedro Pascal can flirt with everyone. So now, guys, it is the time. It is the true. It is my favorite. It is the. Oh wait, hold on. I have to sing. It is time for stash, 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 stash. The stash on everybody's lips is gonna be Pedro's.
Nicely done.
Thank you so much. It is Stash of the Week, where we all pick our favorite mustaches of the week. This movie had one, but I think only Hannah picked it from the movie, which variety is the spice of life. So to kick us off, Hannah, I'm going to show yours, and you can talk a bit about it and
sure.
why you chose it. Hannah's is this bad boy.
Yes, I brought a gift for the party. Look, it's a cute look. It's a good look. It's a nice mustache. He has a little scruff. It's a good haircut. I think it's just, he looks good in the movie and it deserves more attention. You know, a lot of attention paid to other mustaches, but we're here to talk Great Wall, and he has a mustache, and it's a good one. It's a nice little.
He does have a mustache,
guy.
And it is. You're right. It is great hair.
And what was I supposed to do? Scroll through like 15 years of pictures, guys? I can't. I'm busy. I just followed my heart, and I went with what we were already talking about.
That's what you gotta do.
Sorry, Ashley.
Ashley said yes, that's what you're supposed to do.
I brought multiple pictures. So.
Yeah, you did bring a whole PDF of a playbill. So Catrina, do you want to go next with your pick?
Yes, mine has been brought up a couple times across this hour, and it is worth showing once again. The Vanity Fair shoot.
Woo!
This is a special stash of the week because it's a triple stash of the week.
Oh my God, it is.
You've got Pedro, you've got Ewan, and you've got Diego, and they all have mustaches in this. Some of them have mustaches that connect to other things, but for the most part, it all counts. They all have mustaches, and that's why this is my stash of the week.
I like that you refused to say beard. You just said it connects.
I mean, do we really want to call what Andor has here a beard? Like, do we want to call it that?
Do
we want to call it a goatee with potential?
It's 3 full stages of facial hair represented.
Yes, it is.
You got a mustache and some bad facial hair. You got a mustache and something that could become a beard, and then you have a bitch ass beard, just like a dope hell beard.
That's how we start. The end of the series is actually more about the full formation of his beard than anything else. So, I mean, like, spoilers for Andor.
To give credit where credit's due, look at my Scottish king over here because he has the correct It's a full ass bitchin' beard.
I'm
Him and
so
Oscar Isaac next to each other would be like a dream because the two of them with their full beards. Mwah.
I like
almost too much beard.
I
It
need
would be so much beard.
the one thing I need in this Kenobi show, because we cannot see it in these images, is for his silver, like right at the temple that he's got going on in Revenge of the Sith. I need it prominent, and I'm worried because I haven't seen it.
Was his hair is longer too? It wasn't is shorter in Revenge of the Sith because he has more of like
More
a
reason for there to be more gray coming out this way. So I'm
He's
hoping
living in the
now
desert.
he's
He's
a
actively courting aging so that he looks different. I've read so many extended universe books about what's happening in the desert. So I want to see it. Obi-Wan Kenobi's my number one boy.
Yeah, our producer Ashley said Mans is stressed. She's correct.
True.
But I love that Ewan McGregor's entire mindset for this is how can I become Alec Guinness? And you know what? I respect it. My stash of the week, I guess technically my stash of the week was from the filming of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent 2 years ago. But it counts because The Great Wall was 6 years ago. So we're fast and loose with our mustaches. But pictures were released from the filming of Unbearable Weight that showed Pedro Pascal's like hair and like his facial hair for the movie and what it was going to look like. And they're very hot. And so my stash of the week is him in this white t-shirt, looking tan, looking fit, with wonderful curls, a wonderful stash, no stubble. Sorry to that stubble that he normally has. And yeah, looks great. I love this mask. Hannah and I are both, and Katrina saw it and loved it, are all fans of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Perfect movie. And I think it's a perfect look.
Really sexy, wavy hair.
Oh,
it's good.
Him in those Speedos. Ashley warned me about those Speedos so long ago, and I wasn't prepared still. But yes, guys, this was The Great Wall. This was our episode prior to Star Wars Celebration. Is going to come out before Star Wars Celebration. Katrina, do you want to tell the people where they can find us there if they want to come and meet us in the flesh?
Yeah, our fleshy bodies will be at Trader Sam's on Friday night at 6 p.m. That's Friday, the 27th of May, for the official Podro Pascal meetup. I am excited to see everyone there, and I'm excited to be at Celebration, and I'm excited to see Ashley and Rachel
in person. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us for this. Thank you for being my friend in real life. Look at her shaking her head at me.
We're friends.
Tell the people where they can find you.
Sure. I'm on Twitter at HS Blechman and Instagram at HS Blechman, and I've never tweeted a joke in my life. I also co-host a podcast about movie novelizations called Authorized Pod. I don't know. But if you Google Authorized Podcast, we do come up. It's fun. We read books, we watch movies, we talk about them. Rachel is on an upcoming episode. It was really, really fun. So if you like to watch movies and are maybe curious about the art of movie novelization, boy, do we have a podcast about it. And it would be a real honor if you listened.
You should. It's very fun.
And Katrina, you want to be on it? We'd love to have you.
I sure would. Thank you. Yeah, hit me up, let me know, and I will gladly come on and cause chaos.
Hell yeah. Love, love, love.
Katrina, where can the people find you?
You can look for me anywhere on the internet if you look for Katrina. That's OHCATRINA. I just launched a subscription service on my Coffee account. So for $1, you can keep up with all of the wild projects I'm making and all sorts of scripts and notes from like different classes I take. I share them all there as well.
And you guys can follow me at Rachel Leishman on Twitter, at Rachel_Leishman on Instagram, because someone won't give me that handle. And you can follow my writing at the Mary Sue. And yeah, my Star Wars Celebration plan is do that meetup and then go to Disneyland on Saturday. So if you guys want to like find me, I'm around. I'm just gonna watch Obi-Wan Kenobi that Friday morning and then do anything and everything all over Comic-Con. Comic-Con? Can you call it that? Celebration.
When is it?
Next weekend,
Oh.
the 26th through the 29th.
Great. Also, go see Top Gun Maverick. Thank you.
I want to see it so bad. I straight up might one night just go see Top Gun Maverick.
I'm gonna be on Cape Cod next weekend, and I am gonna find a movie theater to see Top Gun. Catrina looks miserable at me popping in to rep Top Gun, but I'm gonna do it.
Oh, it's fine. Look, I
don't know you very well, and you don't know me very well, and I'm sorry to do this to you.
The event planning for the premiere was top notch. That's my opinion. I mean, I thought that was such a great, like, whoever pulled that off, just on top of the helicarrier, that whole presentation was incredible. So that's where I'm at with Top Gun. I like it when planes go zoom.
And guess what? They sure as shit go zoom in Top Gun.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to do the top. Guess what? Hannah gets it, even though we should have done it forever ago. Before we leave, here's a tangent. I've been trying to do the Top Gun. Like, what's your name?
Yeah, it will work for me.
It won't work for me. I've been so angry because it worked for front of the podcast in front of mine and Hannah's Leah, and then for the next 3 hours I try to do it, and every day I try and log on and figure out what my name is.
I want it so bad.
What my name is. I'm so mad.
I deserve it.
Anyways, guys, this is Podro Pascal. See you guys hopefully at Celebration. Yes. Come see me.
Please come say hello.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye bye.